Good day, podcast community. I'm Pete Kane, Podcast Pete. People buy from people. They don't buy from companies. So if you want to position yourself in the future and you want to be a person of influence, it starts with you. You are the magic and anything is possible. And the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. But I'm going to cover the 5 Ps. And this book is probably critical for you to understand it. So order it, Key Person of Influence by Daniel Priestley. And you'll see a lot of 7-11-4 messaging through our time this morning because I want to help you to really position yourself for the future. And it starts with you. You are the magic and anything is possible. So why do we say pitch, profile, product, presentation, and partnership? Those are the 5 Ps it takes. And let's start with pitch. Have you ever been in a networking situation or you meet somebody for the first time and you ask them what they do? And 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, they're still telling you what they do. They basically, from a metaphorical way, thrown up on you. Nobody likes to be thrown up on. People have their own business. You have a business, but not everybody is interested in your business. Now, should you give them just a little bit? Just a tiny bit. Like I would say, we generate leads, create cash flow, and build thriving communities. That's it. Now, if they were to say nothing, I'm finished. I'm going to ask them about themselves because one, people like to tell you about themselves, but you have to be aware of the time frame. Look at the short videos that are so popular on TikTok, Google Shorts and Instagram Shorts and Facebook Shorts, and everything's a short because our attention span has gotten smaller and smaller. So you have to adapt with the time. You can't give a 10-minute dissertation on what you do because they cut you off at about 10 seconds. That's about all you have. And when you say that, it's got to be to the point where somebody gives you a buying signal, says, tell me about generating leads. Okay, that's a buying signal. We generate leads with our podcast. Oh, that sounds interesting. I hear podcasting is really growing. Yes, it's storytelling. It's a digital asset. It's providing you your message, your story online. And we do that for free. Is that something you might be interested in? If they say no, then I always say why? Because sometimes it's fear. A lot of times it's fear. I don't want, what if I say the wrong thing? What if you do? Are you speaking from the heart or are you trying to fool somebody? We know from our recent elections, one person would not be on a podcast because they didn't want people to know anything about her. Another person did 40 hours of podcasting, different channels, different places, 3 hours on Joe Rogan. You can't fool anybody in 3 hours. But people want to control. That's why the legacy meeting is taking a nosedive. People don't get their information from the traditional media sources. A lot get it through podcasting because it's low cost. You can get your message out there, and the ones, depending on what you're doing, how you're doing it, can listen to you. No more is it only 4 major news channels. It's thousands. So when it comes to the pitch, be sensitive to how you frame it. Frame it in such a way that people want to ask for more. If they do, they're giving a buying signal. and a buying signal is the 11. See, people have to consume 7 hours of you, which seems like a lot, which this isn't a short-term fix. You're positioning yourself with a pitch, which you have to have first. And when you look at your profile, people are going to Google you. I meet you. I have a good conversation with you. What am I going to do? I'm going to Google you. And I'm going to see what your profile looks like. And if I have additional opportunities to get to know you, like you, and trust you, I will. But if I don't and you have no profile, how am I going to get to know you and possibly do business with you? I won't, because everything is gone digital. So you have the opportunity to build your profile. So you get a pitch down first, because we always talk about leads, cash flow, and building thriving communities. If you do not have leads in your business, you will not be in business, because you won't generate cash flow, because you'll run out of money. Always be very savvy with how you spend your money from the beginning. Meaning, generate some leads, clients. You don't need to spend thousands on a website. Matter of fact, websites are becoming less important in today's world. If you have a website, maybe a LinkedIn profile, that's not enough. I can't consume generally 7 hours of you from your website. No, but if you put content out there, you put a podcast, you put a book, you put online courses, you put information out there for me to get to know you, like you, and maybe trust you. So you have your profile, which giving people that 7 hours sounds like a lot, but if you have singular strategy that I'm going to perfect my pitch, I'm not going to throw up on people and give them War and Peace about me book, or not War and Peace, but give them a whole encyclopedia of who you are. People don't want to hear that. They may not even be interested at all in you. So that's why you have to do it on a need to know. A need to know is when they ask questions, they lean into you. We all talk about permission marketing. People have to give you permission to market to them, like an opt-in, a newsletter, those kind of things. Those are signals. When somebody wants to know more about you, they'll request it, but they have to request. You can't spam them. That's where we get wrong in the profile, is we think that spamming is going to get them interested. It doesn't. It never does. When you're building your profile, you have to be thinking, what kind of information? A book, a workshop, and we're going to show you some things. That way, you can start thinking differently about how you do business today. And it is a paradigm shift. It's a shift, is the magic is in you, and anything is possible. Because you go on this journey, I mean, you have so many crazy things going on. You have AI kept coming in, layoffs, you have all kinds. This world is turning upside down because you got all these major trends. You got your digital revolution. You got your entrepreneurial. It's easier to get in business, but not stay in business. You have your crypto led by Bitcoin. You have your AI revolution. You have your mobile revolution, and you have your personal development revolution, which, if you want to position yourself for the future, you got to become a leader. And you have to know where to go to develop those skills. And Growth Day is what we have. Oops, hold on here. What happened there? I hit the wrong thing. Okay, hold on there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, no, I did it on my end. My bad. Okay, let me just see here. Okay, so if we look at the profile part, it's who Google says you are. It's not who you say you are. The tips to building your profile. We do podcasting, publishing, and building thriving communities. Now, why do we podcast? Because we're putting out digital content. Why do we publish? Because people want to see you in different platforms. They want to get a magazine. When you look over here, here is a book. So if I buy this book by Daniel Priestley, which I recommend, then I spend 2-3 hours reading it. That's goes towards my 7. So if I spend 2 hours, I've done 2 of the 7 hours. I can listen to his podcast. So I go back here, and that's given people on your profile enough about you to get to know, like, and trust you. Your products, which is the next P, become your online courses. Whatever you have, and put it in a digital form. It could be an online course. We have a course that we give away, which is, let me see if I can find it for you, because yes, Growth Day sponsors. So this course, which is Growth Day, because you have to be developing your leadership. If you're going to be effective, work on you first, then your team, and your team can use the same resource. Growth Day is the 5 to thrive. 5 to thrive. It's the fuel to your rocket each day. You do this each day. Brendon Burchard, the founder of Growth Day, pushing 500,000 people at this time, 60 plus countries. So numbers don't lie. It's the numbers, the number of people that are supporting this, the quality of the training. Just in there, he has his 5 habits, his famous that you get that for free. Because if you're going to really work on yourself, there's 5 scientifically proven habits. These habits will make you better. And you have that for free. So you get this, you get him speaking to you for 7 days for free. You can try out his course on the 5 habits, his best-selling book, and then you go to petekane.me/growth day. Email us at support@petekane.me, and we'll send you my mindset, goals, and habits. It's about this, developing this. Without developing this, it's kind of going without taking a shower. How stinky are you going to get in that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 2 weeks? If you don't work on this, you can't intentionally, and I say intentionally, is we are bombarded by negative news. That's how they make their business. That's how they make their money. They don't publish these feel good, become better content because nobody would subscribe to it. It's all, shock and bad things going on. That's what gets people's attention. But if you just did that all day and you watch the news, your mindset's going to be affected. But if you consciously, intentionally develop yourself by learning the 5 habits, by having Brendon speak to you for each day and doing your 5 to thrive, because your fuel is in your rocket for the day on purpose, showing up on purpose, no matter what you're doing, a meeting, with a colleague, with a friend, whatever you're doing, show up with that energy, that emotion, that curiosity, that purpose, because by doing that, you get more out of yourself and you start creating a better mindset. And then if you don't know where you're going, any path's going to get you there. So you have to have some vision and goals of things, and your habits become your outcome. Habits create outcome. Got good habits, good outcome. Bad habits, bad outcome. So it's pretty simple. It's not difficult. Simple to say, hard to do. But that's why we build thriving communities, why we talk about that, because social influence, social learning learning from each other. I was just at my Rotary, and the gentleman that was beside me, we were talking about various things. His daughter's 24. She just got into vet school in New York. And we were talking about that. And he was sharing at 19, he learned so much as they were journeying through the last 5 years. And she said to him, let's forget about the past, not forget. Let's not work on the past. Let's work on the future. Create our relationship from this point forward, which is fantastic, unbelievable, because we hold on to things. What happened in my childhood can't be changed. So, you can't hold on. Hey, my brother treated me bad, so he created a a kind of mindset that I can't handle other people. Hey, get over it. The past, you can't change it. You can only change the future. And you can only change today, making today happen. And you have to do this intentionally. That's why we are sponsored by Growth Day. Their personal development is world class. World class. After 7 days, you like it, it's a couple dollars a day. It's a $50 investment in you, because you're the magic. You're the magic. If you don't work on yourself and you try to give advice to people and you don't even work on yourself, it'll go on deaf ears. It starts with you, starts with the magic. Anything's possible, but you have to develop yourself. You have to work on yourself. You have to be intentional about creating a better mindset, setting goals, and having better outcomes. Because if you do, the world is your oyster. And if you do this and send a support ticket to pk.me, we'll send you that course. So, okay, let's get back to product. Okay, so you got your pitch. It's got to be short. We create leads, generate cash flow, and build thriving communities. 5 seconds. If somebody says nothing after I say that, I don't have to say anything more because they're not interested. If they say, well, how do you generate leads? We do it through podcasting, publishing, and building thriving communities. What do you have to do on a podcast? Be my guest. Come on, we'll create a digital asset and we'll show you, because it's just like Costco. You don't buy a product. I mean, most of the time you try it before you buy it. That's why you go to Costco. Great values, bigger quantities. So let me try a little bit. So I try it. I like it. I buy it. You come on. We create a digital asset for you. And maybe you like it. Maybe you say, this podcasting thing has some potential. Where do we go from here? Then we have a plan for you. So you can create that profile. Remember what we said? 7-11-4. People have to consume 7 hours of you, make 11 buying signals, and see you on 4 different platforms. A book is a platform. A podcast is a platform. A workshop's a platform. A webinar's a platform. Instagram's a platform. Facebook's a platform. These are all different platforms. And when that happens, the person in their mind, it shifts. It's by Roger Dunbar. He's famous for the 7 hours. 11 is the 0 moment of truth with Google. People have to raise their hand, signal. I'm interested. Tell me more. I'm interested. I'm going to take assessment. I want to buy your book. I want to listen to your podcast. I want to buy your magazine. I want to show you I'm interested. And until they do, you don't have anything. That's why you have to be intentional about creating that profile. Because when you create the profile and you give away things, the product in Daniel Priestley is a book. He's got 4 of them, 24 Assets, Key Person of Influence, Entrepreneurial Revolution, and Scorecard Marketing. Those 4 books are different They do different things, but they still get you or give you an opportunity to get to know them. So when we talk about this, be a guest on our podcast. I mean, heck, what do you have to lose except being on my podcast? We're going to have some fun because we believe in having fun. And we're in the process of coming up with a organization where every single person that does a podcast with us, we make a donation because we want to make an impact. We say be bold, make an impact, and have fun. We have fun. We want to make an impact, a big impact, a global impact. And being bold is changing, shifting. You know, I had a friend, no, not a friend, I have a company. I currently do business with this called ALO. Wonderful company. I know Shannon. She's just a wonderful person. But I reached out to the CEO to see if he wanted to be on my podcast. And he said that I'd like to be behind the scenes. Well, everybody has a choice. But let me just say, his name is Nick Williams. Nick, this is to you. Anybody can do anything. But if you are not the spokesperson for your business, people buy from people. They don't buy from companies. Who knows who's behind ALO besides me, who I know Shannon? I went to ALO because of Shannon. And if you're wanting the world to know all about ALO, you are the visionary. You are the spokesperson. Might not like it, but if you want ALO to grow, you have to shift your thinking and you have to be out there. There's nothing intimidating. Maybe it is at first, like the bike we rode on when we were a kid. We fell off, skinned our knee. Did we say, I'm never going to ride a bike again? I've skinned my knee. No, we hopped back on it and we started back again. Maybe we fell off again, but we hopped back on it. And it's like, you come on the first podcast, what do I say? Just be truthful. Share yourself. Be transparent. Be authentic. Why did you start the company? Why did it mean so much? I would guess because of the medical mess out there, and it is, I left Wellstar to come to Congier and then to ALO because I have a really nice, a good friend for 25 years, but the system just wore me down because setting up an appointment, going in there and having so many people you have to see, it's different at ALO. Go in there, it's beautiful, lit, modern technology. They don't have a showroom full of 100 people. They book it and they have a consistent, they don't throw a bunch of people in a waiting room and then eventually get to them and wait. Maybe you get to a little bit after the time. Now, they're doing better, but the fact is trying to change a big company is hard. It's better to start fresh. And that's what ALO did. They started in South Atlanta. I think they were Eagles Landing Medical, something like that. Now they're ALO. It's not even a word. They made it up. So you even need a person. Gosh, I couldn't even say the word for about 6 months, but now I have it down. But my point is, people buy from people. People buy from people. Look at the landscape out there. Okay, you got Elon Musk. He's one of the bigger ones, most rich. What does he have? All kinds of companies. He's got all kinds of companies, but you know of him. Oprah. She's got all kinds of companies, but you know of Oprah. Joe Rogan. He's got all kinds of companies, but you know of Joe Rogan. You got all these people. They've got all kinds of companies. Even with Nike, what did Nike do? They went out and found Michael Jordan. They found Roger Federer. They found people that would represent the company. Tiger Woods until recently. People buy from people. And as a business owner, if you make that paradigm shift and think, okay, the magic is in me and anything is possible, I have to put myself out there so people can get to know me, like me, and trust me. And they do through 7-Eleven-4. So be a guest on my podcast. Experience it. Test it. You might like it. Even if you don't like it, you have a digital asset. When somebody searches you, they're going to see your interview. So that's cool because they at least get a little bit of you. Maybe they don't get 7 hours. Maybe one time they only needed 30 minutes, which is possible. But generally, this is what we teach. We teach the 5 Ps in key performance: pitch, profile, product, presentation, and partnership. Let's go on to the presentation. So we do a workshop, and the workshop allows us to teach you. We teach you the 10 steps to scale and grow your business by 10x. So we're going to give you the work. We're going to give you the master class, but I'll teach you and you can interact. And it's a way for you to understand how you can grow your business. And that master class is yours. That's our product that we give you. Part of the 7. We got to give you 7 hours of us. So that's part of what we're doing, is giving you the 7 hours. So that presentation, we have a webinar, we have a workshop. We actually have a virtual summit. So our people that get on our podcast, and if they're good, you can sense it, we invite them back to be a part of our virtual summit for free. 5 minutes, 3 points. 5 minutes, 3 points. And it's important that you get your 3 points down, because if you're always adding, that's not as effective as keep telling the same story. When you get bored is when you'll be successful, because you're bored because you hear it, you'd say it over and over again. But the people that come in the first time, they're not. They're trying to decide if the problem you have solves them. And they want to get to know you, like you, and trust you. And they do it through 7-Eleven-4. So going back to 7-Eleven-4, 7 hours. They got to consume it. And the journey of 1,000 miles starts with, what does it start with? I love this. Starts with a podcast. Oh, geez, that couldn't have been any better. That was beautiful timing. So the journey of 1,000 miles in your journey of success in business is a podcast. That's the first step. Be a guest on our podcast. Let me see if I can put that back up there. Be a guest, go to petekane.me. It's a short assessment. I got to know a little bit about you. I'm going to have an effective podcast and be able to shine the light on you. So be on the podcast. So when you look at that, you look at the other thing is partnerships, because it's so important. Oops, let me go back. Let me go back here. I'm doing this for a reason, because it's so important, and I think I can go to it. Yes. Okay. We do a magazine, and that's our partnership with our people, because think of yourself. I was just at Rotary. I was talking to a gentleman who's a realtor, and he told me that Matt said 71% of the 100,000 realtors didn't sell one property last year. 71. That's a big percentage. A lot of part-time people, a lot of people that'll go out and buy a big old website, and they'll get all this stuff, and they haven't even generated $1. You got to generate leads. You got to be able to sell, pitch before you go out and buy all this stuff, because if you don't have cash flow and you ain't in business. But we put you in a magazine with your team. So a realtor is a really good example. When you hire a good realtor, I mean a good one that produces, like that. Was a builder for 15 years. He understands the industry. You can't fool him, because he's been there, and he's been on the city council. So he knows people, and you want his resources. So he's going to hand you a magazine. Think of this, and you're not just about Matt. You're about his team of trusted people on his team that he's vented, that he's worked with, that he knows, that he can say, because you're going to say, do you know a carpet cleaner? And so Matt has a team. Maybe he had a couple bad ones, and now he has a really good one. He vented them. And that's the value he brings to the table because he brings his trusted partners. That partnership is intentional. It's in a magazine. So if you go to the magazine, think of yourself as building your magazine up to 20 people with your key strategic partners. Your key strategic partners. That is a key thing to remember. Key strategic partners in your magazine. You're on the cover, you hand it. Your podcast stories is in the magazine. You can see a sample. We did one so you could see. Go to that magazine. You'll see it's on Amazon. You can order it. You can get it. It's 32 stories in there. We will do 20 max. That way we have a small team of people. We want it to be manageable, but we work with those to do podcasts, to get their story in there. So you can get to know the people that are part of Matt's story, Matt's team, Matt's trusted partners. Because with partners, and you're collaborating because you're each doing something very unique, but together you're better. Together you're better. So going back to our 11-7-11-4 as we wind down, we want you to think 7 hours, 11 buying signals, 4 different platforms. Get this book, Key Person of Influence. It's not my book, but it's a book. It's kind of the Bible to growing your business in year 2025. Certainly, you got to develop your leadership, and that's part of our partner at Growth Day. Get 7 days for free. Go to pkane.me/growth day and send a support ticket because it's a affiliate. So they pay us to be able to share the word, share the 500,000 people. 500,000 people. You like it after 7 days trying it out? 5 to Thrive, having Brendon Burchard, the most successful coach, trainer, marketer on the planet, speak to you for 7 days uniquely. Each day it goes away. So I take notes every single day. I haven't missed in 11 months. Every single day because it's valuable, because it helps me become better. And it can help you become better by working on yourself. Your mindset is so important. Got to put good things in. Like if you didn't take a shower, you're going to be stinky. And if you don't put good things up here and work on those 5 habits, well, you're going to be speaking stinky stuff. You'll know because you can always tell if somebody hasn't been working on themselves by what they say. So the mindset, goals, and habits can be yours. Try it for 7 days. pkane.me/growth day. I want to thank them for sponsoring our podcasting because we can bring podcasting to you because the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And the first step is book a podcast. Go to pkane.me, book your podcast, take your assessment so I can understand a little bit about you, and we'll have some fun. We'll have a lot of fun. Okay. Be bold. Let me say, be bold, make a difference, and have fun. Be bold, make a difference, and have fun.